Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Right before I was about to record The Art of Winning by Bill Belichick. Oh man, happy birthday to me, that's for sure. Alright, we'll get into that next week. I'm sure it's going to be good. What else do we have here? But yes, as long as this comes out on Thursday, and it should this week, it's probably not going to be an hour and a half long episode. Thursday, the 8th, May 8th. Is my actual birthday, 29 years old. 29 and feeling just all right. This is also a reminder that the deadline for a real ID to fly was May 7th, so get those if you plan on flying anywhere anytime soon. The quest for a new pope is underway as well, but if the new pope doesn't have a real ID, can he actually become the new pope? Luckily, if you're listening to this, you don't need a real ID because you got the real ID right here in front of you. This is episode 152 of Hoagies and Pierogis. Happy birthday. Let's get into it. Recorded in central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis. Alright, so yeah, I kind of want to refine my thoughts on the draft maybe a little bit more than last week, so we might get into that, but we might not. What we should get into is the NBA and NHL playoffs. What is going on? Madness is happening. We need to start following. All right, let's start with the Nuggets. The Nuggets won Game 7 against the Clippers, 120-101, and Russ was feeling himself hanging on the rim after getting that tech. Or getting that tech for hanging on the rim, I should say. And they actually had Game 1 against the Thunder last night, and they beat them 121-119. I don't know who they quoted when they said this, but someone on the team said that they would never have gotten this far if they didn't make a coaching change. It's literally the same team. I don't buy that for 1 second. Does a coach matter more in basketball than it does in baseball? Yeah, I think so. In my mind, it probably goes football, then hockey, then basketball, then baseball in terms of importance to their team. So, like, just having the right 5 players on the court matters a lot. And if you have one superstar in Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, his backup, basically, you should be fine no matter who else you put around them, no matter what coach is the figurehead, basically. So yeah, I'm sure Michael Malone is going to be pissed if they do well. The Warriors also moved on from their Game 7 against the Rockets. That one was also not particularly close. The Warriors won 103-89. Steph Curry and the Warriors are 5-0 in playoff series against the Rockets. In the past 10 years, that has to be some kind of record. And the Warriors will be playing the Timberwolves tonight in Game 1. I mean, Timberwolves have to be favored, right? After beating the Lakers 4-1 in their opening series. And the Warriors did end up winning 99-88 against the Timberwolves. And it is the first time in NBA history that all 4 road teams won Game 1 of the conference semifinals. That's from ESPN. And a little bit of a spoiler for in a couple seconds. In the Eastern Conference, the Pacers already took Game 1 from the Cavs and look like they are a legitimate threat. They're actually down right now to the Cavs. They're currently playing Game 2, but we'll see. We'll check back in on that after this. But the big story here for the Pacers is that Tyrese Halliburton's dad won't attend any more Pacers games this season after his run-in with Giannis after they booted the Bucks.
It might have seemed like I was looking at him, but I really wasn't. Like I was staring him down. He grabbed my hands. He put his forehead on my forehead, and he said, "I love you." And I was yelling, "Yay, yay, yay." But it wasn't like that.
Yeah, no matter who you are, you cannot get away with gloating in front of any player on a team that you just kicked out of the playoffs. And then the Knicks and Celtics started their season on Monday night. And what a game. The Knicks took game 1, 108-105 in overtime. And this is why I hate watching highlights, because it went from 97-91 Knicks to 98-97 Celtics, and I have no idea what happened in between. Just watching more recently, that seems to happen a lot. One team will make like 3 straight threes and then brick the next 5 while the other team chips away at the lead. It's definitely Quite the adjustment from college basketball, being used to watching that. So that's it for the NBA. Maybe we should also be watching a little bit more NHL, because the Stars just beat the Avalanche in Game 7 after being down by 2 goals with 12 minutes left, and the player that scored or assisted on all 4 goals was traded from the Avalanche midway through the season, Mikko Rantanen. Final score of that game was 4-2 after he scored a hat trick in the 3rd period alone. That's insane. And even more chaos, the Jets tied their Game 7 against the Blues at 3 with 1.6 seconds left and won in overtime double overtime 4-3. And last little thing here, the Utah Hockey Club will now be permanently known as the Utah Mammoth. Both the name and logo are awesome. This was a great choice by the fans. Yeah, it's time to start watching some hockey. And we may as well, because now that the draft is over, we're not going to have too much football to talk about until the schedules come out. And well, actually, they come out next week. But it is on Wednesday night, so I don't know how much of that we're going to get in next week. I mean, at this point last year, we were solely complaining about the Pirates. And a big thing that I want to try to focus on this year is not doing that. That's what a lot of the episodes were comprised of last year. And don't get me wrong, we'll still complain about them. It just won't be this whole sole focus of the pod. Well, here we are complaining about them. The Pirates have lost 9 of 11 games. And the best present that I'll be getting on Thursday is them having the day off so they cannot lose on my birthday. Last week I said that 11-18 felt like it wasn't the end of the world. But 12-24, here we are a week later, certainly does feel like the end of the world. The Cardinals game just started, and I'm almost afraid to look at the score. Skeens is pitching tonight, so there should at least be that. There's that one little bright spot. And of course, Matt Libator struck out the side in the first inning, and Skeens got 1 strikeout, but 0-0 after 1 inning. This is not going to be pretty for the Pirates, who are notoriously horrible against left-handed pitchers for some reason. I don't know. They can't hit lefties whatsoever. I always go for the over on strikeouts when they're facing lefties. Well, not even Skeens Day can stop the slide. The Pirates have now lost 7 straight, lost 11 of 13, lost 2 straight Skeen starts, and are 3-5 in Skeen starts, and are now 12-26 overall after their game on Wednesday afternoon against the Cardinals, in which they lost 5-0. I mean, it's so bad that fans are falling from the stands and fighting employees at PNC Park. Oh, what is going on? Is this going to be the new Kennywood where someone's getting stabbed once a year? Please do not turn PNC Park into Kennywood. So yeah, last Wednesday night, I believe it was, as someone fell from the Clemente wall onto the field of play. And my initial reaction was, did he do that on purpose? It really looks like he just straight up yeeted himself. But no, here's an explanation from Reddit. I was sitting 5 rows behind him. He was drunk. Inning before, he ripped his shirt off and poured half a beer all over himself. He jumped up from his seat when the Pirates got the hit. He jumped up so quick while being drunk, he literally propelled himself off the ledge. He didn't do it on purpose, and no one pushed him. He was there with his girlfriend, a friend, and another lady. The friend ran to the lower deck in center field and jumped on the field. The initial report from the police scanner account on Twitter said that they were transporting a 30-year-old male. The unfortunate thing is that the Clemente wall's height was greater than the kid's age, who was only 20. Part of me thinks that since he was described as a 30-year-old man, that he had a fake ID on him, and that's how he was getting the alcohol. But I sure hope for his friends and his girlfriend that's how he was actually doing it, because one of them would be in trouble if they were getting the alcohol for him. The latest update from this weekend was that the fan was now awake and alert and responsive. So, I mean, hell, having a fall myself, I can kind of sympathize a little bit with this. Now, I wasn't drunk and I was at work, working, not being a drunk idiot, but I can still sympathize for sure. And then on Sunday, fans were taunting a female concession stand worker, and the attendant stood up for her and was spit at in response to kicking this dude's ass. And oh yeah, I forgot my favorite part of the video is the part where he literally puts belt to ass and the employee whips out his belt and starts hitting the guy who spit blood at him. Good. He deserves it. He deserves to get hit with that belt, for sure. And apparently the attendant was suspended for a couple games, or I don't even know for how long. Suspended maybe indefinitely. But come on. Nutting, at this point, you gotta spend money to protect your workers. It's getting bad out there. And the Kennywood comparison, I'm actually legitimately concerned about. So the only teams that are 10 games under 500 are the White Sox, the Rockies, and the Pirates. The White Sox are, they broke the record for most losses last year, so that was kind of obvious. The Rockies are in the NL West, where every single team besides them has 20 wins, 20 plus wins. Actually, the Diamondbacks are sitting at 18, but they're still scoring a fuck ton of runs. And the Pirates are at the bottom of the barrel in the NL Central, with the Cubs leading the division at 22-14. And they actually do have the best run differential, the Cubs do, at plus 69. Nice. So the Cubs are leading the Central. The Dodgers regained the lead in the NL West. The Padres are right behind them, though, at 23 wins. Giants are right behind them at 22 wins. Like I said, Diamondbacks sitting at 18 wins. The NL West is going to be crazy. It usually is always crazy, but this year just a little bit extra madness. And then at the top of the NL East, we got the Mets with the Phillies 3 games behind them. At 19-15, Mets are at 23-13 right now. Honestly, it feels like anytime I look at the Mets results on Twitter, it feels like it's the end of the world. They are leading the division by 3 games. Calm down. Mets fans, what is wrong with you? All right, with that, we'll go to the AL East, where the Yankees lead the division by 1.5 games over the Red Sox. Yankees are only 19-16. The AL East always kind of cannibalizes itself. The Orioles are at 13-20. It's not too horrible, but it's definitely not where the Orioles wanted to be. Tigers at top of their division, 22-13, and then the Mariners are 1 game ahead of the Athletics. Mariners are 20-14. Athletics are 20-16. Now, for the 2 teams playing in minor league stadiums, they seem to be doing fine. The Rays are 16-18, and like I just said, the Athletics are 20-16. So, is that the solution? Are we just gonna have all these small market teams play in minor league ballparks and hope that they magically get better, like the A's and the Rays? Oh, also the Phillies are playing at Tampa Bay right now, and who is that person behind home plate? My dad said it looked like he was in a penalty box. I think that might be the official game scorer. I'm not 100% sure though. That really does look so odd there, right? He's right in the center of the camera, just staring. And then last little bit here, John sent me this from The Athletic. Rookie Sasaki chose the Dodgers because they were willing to install Japanese-style toilets in the clubhouse. Sometimes you just need to be comfortable when you're shitting out that LA Mexican food. Okay, on to football. A little bit of college news here. Notre Dame and Clemson just signed a 12-year, same thing in this case, series from 2027 to 2038. Well, they're going to play a home game. Home and home series? A home and away series, home and home series. I don't know the fucking difference. They're probably just going to switch 2 home games at one place and then 2 home games at another place every 2 years. I think that's what that means. All right, on to the NFL. The good news just keeps coming for Washington. This actually happened last week, but I did not have any time to put this back in, and I wasn't going to add anything else after I already did I edited down that whole 3-hour draft. I just recorded myself during the whole thing, and I just cut out every single like commercial break. I don't think I'm going to do that again. That was painstaking. But yeah, Washington. The good news keeps coming for Washington after getting rid of Snyder because they're moving back to DC. I guess the plot of land that they're going to be on was approved, and they're going to have like the monuments. They're going to have monuments in the back. You're going to be able to see them like through the glass of the stadium when you're inside of it. That's going to be so cool. And then I don't know when that's going to be done, but next year they're going to be having the draft in the mall. Well, not next year, sorry. 2027, they're going to be having it in the Capitol Mall. Hell, if I like being in Pittsburgh for the draft next year, I might end up going to DC. DC's actually like half the time. It probably takes a little under 2 hours to get there from here as compared to Pittsburgh where it takes 3. But apparently there's going to be like, they're projecting over 1 million people to be there. And there was only 250,000 people at the draft in Green Bay this year. I don't even know if there's going to be that many people in Pittsburgh since it's on the North Shore. I don't know if the North Shore can handle 250,000 people all being there at the same time. The casino is going to be packed. So a follow-up from the draft. I know last week I had mentioned that I wish that no consequences would have came from the prank call. But the Falcons were fined $250,000. And Jeff Ulbrich himself was fined $100,000. That is the most expensive phone call in history, I think. I mean, they really just fucked themselves with the video. I think they were probably going to get the kid's phone number anyway, but when they posted that video, it was all over. So that should have just been not even a thing, not even a thought to record it. But there are 2 videos that we need to get our hands on. One is Shedur's interview tapes. People keep saying that he was so shitty during interviews. He must have been so shitty. I really want to see just how shitty he was. And then 2, the second tape that we need is what the fuck happened on that golf course where John Elway killed a man on a golf cart. Follow-ups. This is all the stuff basically that we did not cover that happened during the draft last week. But this does pertain kind of to the draft. Art Rooney said the Steelers are still looking to add another QB and that it seems like Aaron Rodgers wants to come to Pittsburgh. It seems like he's giving them every opportunity to back out, but Pittsburgh is desperate. Rodgers is basically at this point like, you guys really want me in Pittsburgh? Did you see me last year and I'm not going to have Devontae Adams? I mean, if you really want to, but I'm giving you the opportunity to say no. I don't know. To me, I think someone signed Brissett already, but if Brissett's available, send him to the Steelers. But what are you gonna do? You really cannot send Mason Rudolph out there and then just like hope that Will Howard is gonna be as good as Drake May, because that's what the Patriots were willing to do, is ride with Brissett until May was ready. But that's not gonna be the case with Will Howard. And then also they don't have another option to fall back on if that doesn't work out for them. The Patriots had Milton to fall back on if May didn't work out. The Steelers, you have to sign a third quarterback. Someone, literally anyone. Is Brian Hoyer willing to come back? I really don't think that Aaron Rodgers wants to play football anymore, or else he would have made his decision already. And the Steelers just traded George Pickens and a 2027 6th rounder to the Cowboys for a 3rd and a 2027 5th rounder. Does this signify that they're not going for Rodgers? I can't imagine that will make him happy, getting rid of a potential weapon for him. Steelers fans don't know why they traded him, and Cowboys fans also don't know why they traded for him. That is so much to give up for 1 year of Pickens if you're the Cowboys, with other extensions looming. Parsons, who has the same agent as Pickens, and the Steelers will have been better off keeping him to put him opposite of DK Metcalf. I bet DK is fucking fuming. No QB and no wide receiver help now? What the fuck are the Steelers doing? And to all the Patriots fans that wanted to trade for him, why? I would much rather have 4 years of Kyle Williams for that 3rd rounder than possibly 1 year of Pickens for that same 3rd rounder. Pickens was often the most frustrating player on the Steelers, and his inconsistency is mind-boggling. If the Patriots really want to go out and add a deep threat, the Jags just released Gabe Davis. So here's a cheaper option that's just as inconsistent without being a complete diva. Oh my God, Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have a monster season. This is going to be completely unfair. All right, I kind of want this one to be short. I'm not going to be doing too much work the day before my birthday. But last thing for football here, this does pertain to the Patriots. Julian Edelman was inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame, deservedly so. The only true wide receiver that was drafted and developed by the Patriots, and he wasn't even drafted as a wide receiver. He was drafted as a quarterback. And I'm sure people know the story, but he spent a lot of his time at safety and during doing kick returns and punt returns before becoming that reliable option for Brady at wide receiver. He is a true late round success story and an exemplary story for quarterbacks that don't want to move off of quarterback. But change your position. Do something a little bit different. I mean, for Milroe, he could be doing really well at running back in that Seattle offense. And he could throw the ball as well, but sparingly. Do it sparingly. And the Patriots, instead of going the Hard Knocks route on HBO, are just coming out with their own Hard Knocks. Fuck it. Why not? It seems like they're going to be doing a whole offseason thing, like all their free agents they signed, leading up to and through the draft. So I think that'll be cool to watch. I almost think that this means Hard Knocks is like completely dead. If teams start doing it on their own, there's really not much reason for Hard Knocks on HBO to exist. It cost probably a fuck ton of money. The Giants just ruined it for everyone. Specifically, John Mara and Joe Shine ruined it for everyone. All right, I think that's it for football, unless we look on Twitter later. GTA 6 is delayed until May 26th, 2026. Who saw that coming? The most obvious delay ever, honestly. I was less than 2 days late for the draft episode, and I felt so bad. I can't imagine how shitty that must feel to be delayed over a year. Well, judging by the delay for Assassin's Creed, it was supposed to come out in like October, and it just came out at the end of March. I think that the delay will probably be good for them. I have 70 hours of gameplay, and I just got finished with the main story, and I have at least 40 more hours of gameplay to cover the whole rest of it. I do want to try to platinum the game. That's my goal for most games, but this one might be a little bit difficult. It is truly like one of the most in-depth RPGs that I've played in a long time, a very long time. Now, does it have its problems? Yes. When you jump over a cliff and land in a tree, you don't hold on to the tree or you don't fall right onto the ground. You get shot 50 meters away. But those little glitches are what makes the games memorable. I mean, I'm not looking for a clean 100% bug-free experience like God of War Ragnarok. I need these little bits and pieces that make me laugh randomly when I'm not expecting it. And while we're on video games, this week, on Saturday, we're going to wrap up our first year in MLB. I'm not going to spoil it, but we did pretty well to finish out the season there. So, yes, episode 17 will be the conclusion of year one in my Road to the Show GOAT pitching series. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. That's more of the free flow, what do you call that? Flow state. More of my flow state commentary doing that. This is all, I kind of know what I'm going to say going into this, and I kind of just, read for the most part things that are going to happen, and I kind of make jokes where I can. But this one, I truly, have no idea what's going to happen next, and I've kind of staying on my toes all the time, trying to always be looking for the joke, be looking to do well in the video game itself. So I want a good combination of both. I don't want it to just be a shitty pitching series where I'm being funny. I want it to be a good pitching series where I'm being funny. Or, vice versa. I don't want to do well and just be completely silent. I want to have some commentary. And I think it's working out well so far. I think people are enjoying the series. I'm enjoying playing it, so I'll keep putting them out twice a week, Tuesday and Saturday, 2 p.m. Last thing before we scroll on Twitter, Antonio Brown was on Kill Tony. Yep, when he made that tweet, his episode finally debuted this week. He made the classic mistake, however, of getting way too drunk beforehand, and he was smoking blunts on stage. So he didn't end up saying too much. He did open up probably about 2/3 into the episode. He started saying a little bit more. Did it make any sense? No. not one single bit of it made sense. Other than when he made that titty milk reference, everyone was like, "Wait, what? How do you know that?" But yeah, I thought it was going to be boring at first, but it definitely picked up towards the end. It's Kill Tony. There are episodes that are complete duds. There are episodes that are bangers the whole way through, halfway through. It doesn't matter. It's a complete grab bag. It is complete randomness. as the show is meant to be out of the bucket. All right, let's scroll Twitter here, see what's going on. Donovan Mitchell has 21 points in the first half for the Cavs. They're up 61-50 over the Pacers. So that's a good start for them. And holy shit, the Pacers came back after being down 61-50 at halftime and won 100-119 on a Halliburton missile. Pacers lead the series 2-0 right now. Ohtani just hit his 10th home run. Aaron Judge just hit his 12th. Aaron Judge is going crazy. I would not be surprised if he wins another AL MVP. It says here, Judge is slugging .771 on fastball since the start of the 2023 season. Best in MLB, league average is .473. He's almost 300 points higher on his slugging. Jesus Christ. All right, and for hockey, the Capitals just started their series against the Hurricanes. The Capitals are up 1-0 right now. Golden Knights face off against the Oilers tonight. Game 1. But all right, everybody, I believe that's it. Make sure to leave a like and comment on each video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hoagies and Pierogis is available wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. And make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok for clips throughout the week. And we will be back next week after having read The Art of Winning. It's only 289 pages. Light read, nothing crazy. It's not an 800-page football Bible like you thought Belichick would write. So, all right, everybody, we'll leave you with this. Munch. Recorded in central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host, Ian DiCarlo. This is Hoagies and Pierogis.